Hello again, guys. The time now is 7:45, Monday the 30th of June. Do you like this top? It says, I know it's back to front, but it says against all odds, and so does trousers, which is a bit of a coincidence because it's been what I've been thinking about for the last couple of weeks. Against all odds, it's kind of like well, you could call it a Secret Service term, against all odds, like, as the Bond movie says, against all odds, it means that you're up against things that don't concern you, and you're really up against it, which is exactly where I'm at. Anyways, what I want to talk about is my upbringing. I used to live in a place called 42 Birchwood Avenue, Beckenham, Kent, BR3 3PZ. It was a 4-storey house. Prior to that, I was in a house in Bexleyheath. I don't know the precise address, but I'll come back to you on that one. But yeah, Beckenham was quite interesting. My mum went to school with Kate Bush in Dartford. I know it's changing the subject a bit, but I'll stick with the Beckenham memories. We went to school in South Kensington, which we all know is a very upmarket part of London. It's a bit boring these days. I'm not really that interested in it. I prefer Victoria and Westminster and Soho, and just taking mad bus routes around London, which is what I was doing when I was in the Crown Court on a racial aggravated public order offence, which was banged up because of the fact that I wanted my case heard in the Crown, because I didn't think I'd get justice in the Madge, because I was in such a dark place because of what happened to me in Bournemouth with this female. It was, if not the scariest nights of my life. It was a strange event where women were being a bit sick and twisted, and that's really why I've given up the raves. I mean, not completely, I'm still tempted, but I'm not going to Ravers Reunited, I'm not going to Sunday Central, I'm not going to Gate Crash, I'm not going to God's Kitchen, I'm not going to the Custard Warehouse, I'm not going to the Rainbow Warehouse. I'm probably not going to go to Deep East ever again, because it's a shithole, and you go there, you get pissed, you get drugged up, you go back to people's houses, you snort coke, you take cannabis, you take ketamine, you take GHB. It's all a load of shit. It's not worth it. It's a mug's game. But on the other hand, you can go to decent events. I mean, the Victoria Warehouse, which is on my Instagram account, MKW1305 1982. That was a good event. But again, is it really worth it? You travel halfway across the country to some people, they hire hotels, but I think that's even a bigger load of shit, more expense, more bullshit, more people that you don't really want to hang around with, more fake friends, more plastic bullshit, which just ends in depression and depravity, and you get back to your flat, you have a wank, you ring chat lines, you've wasted £300 where that could have gone on food or travel or a lot more basic amenities that will improve your life, improve your health, other than drinking shitloads of alcohol and these scatty fucking, well, I don't want to call them Scousers, because it's not just Scousers, it's Mancunians, it's all the rough people, maybe they've learned the lesson, maybe things have changed, but I don't believe that. And then you got the one in This is Horizon Outdoor in it's Birkenhead, the one I nearly ended up in, but again, it was God's work not to get onto that coach, and I'm hoping National Express would give me my money back. I've already spoke to them and they said to write to their complaints. I've just got to get access to my Google account so I can get the details of what coach I was meant to be on and the reason I missed it. The reason I missed it was because I got the dates wrong, I got the times wrong, but again, like I said, it's meant to be, because I ended up spending all night outside the bus station. I had my drinks, I had my comfort, I had my blankets, I had my... People thought I was homeless, but obviously I wasn't homeless, and it was just nice to hear their stories and to share stories. I mean, she said she had this pepper spray on her, but I don't believe her. You know, that was just like a kind of protection, you know. Women aren't as safe as men, are they? You know, they are more vulnerable. And she was quite happy to tell me about her cerebral palsy son, where they can't fly. She's also cutting down on the things she owns, a bit like I am, or I was, until the locks were changed. But Nottinghamshire Police are going to give me a call today, and hopefully we're going to go into great detail on exactly what's occurred and when. I know I'm not in the wrong. I've made a few mistakes, but who doesn't? And more to the point, I'm a lot more on the ball now. Well, I was more on the ball until I entered this place. But what I mean is that I did lose a few keys. I did have to keep going back to their premises. They're not nice people. He's put a CCJ on my credit file for £72.50, which is not even accurate. He's a scam, basically, because the service charge is £20, and they scammed me into thinking I owed them money, because I was a bit confused at the time, and I thought they were telling the truth, but what a mug I am, eh? Thinking people fucking tell the truth when blatantly they're up to their necks in corruption and greed and selfishness and nastiness and darkness. And yeah, so yeah, that's that bit of the story. I will go on to tell you about my childhood and the fact that I lived at this 4-storey house in Beckenham, but I'll leave it there for now. That's enough for now. But yeah, I will come on to lots of different stories, lots of different past events, and I mean thousands of them. But for now, I don't want to fry my brain. I don't want to flick into too many different conversations. I don't want mine to go all over the place, so I'm going to stick with one story at a time. And gradually you will get to grips with not only who I am, not only what I'm about, not only what I've produced lately and the success, not success exactly, but the, I don't know what to say really, the evolution, you could call it. I don't know what you call it, but I do think I'm special, and that's not arrogance or mental health or autism or anxiety or panic or a mental health disorder. It's just purely a way of expressing myself to such a degree that it clears my head, makes me feel better, and hopefully you enjoy what I've got to say, and it will breed success on both parts. I mean, that's all I've tried to do. But again, I'm not going to blow my own trumpet. It's not even blowing my own trumpet. It's actually helping people with them knowing it or even without them knowing it. Anyway, I'll have a look. This is my room. It's not a bad room, is it? It's smaller than the one in Nottingham, but it's a lot calmer here. It's a lot less stressful. That's why I like it. And it's a learning curve, and it's a learning curve for all of us. We learn as we grow, as we mature, as we move forward, as we learn how to cope with situations and how to deal with people and how to suss people out and know when you're being taken advantage of and know when you're being set up and know when people are up to no good. Like I said, there's this really arrogant, nasty, I don't want to call her a packy, but she deserves to be called a packy because she's a nasty piece of work, as is this other doctor. You can tell just by her eyes that she's not a healthy person, and I haven't really got a lot of faith in the doctor here either, and nor do I want to cause him so much trouble like I did last time that I get moved on to a forensic unit, which means criminal. I mean, the worst section is a 37, and then you've got 37, 41, and then you've got a 41, which is a life term, none of which ballparks I fit into. But then that's a problem in itself, because then they call you vulnerable, they say that you're messy, they say you can't look after yourself, they say you need supported living. I've been there. I was at 68 Waverley Road, SC 1870J last year, and I don't want to talk about that too much, I'll come on to that, but that's not a route I want to go down. I believe, I'm hoping and praying that the flat in Nottingham is still available to me. I think it is, in fact I know it is. The reason they're using that against me is because it's been searched by the police. They took photos of the accommodation the first night they were there when they were called to me for smashing plates against the wall. You can't blame them, they have to react, but let's just say there is a shitload more to it than that. And I do believe GCHQ are involved. I do believe other services are involved. Obviously not here, luckily, but where I was up in Nottingham there were. But I'm off their patch now, I'm off their radar. I'm a free man at the moment. Well, I'm obviously not a free man, I'm trapped in this. But, you know, it's okay, you know, you get your food. The food isn't great, which is why I just eat sandwiches. They've got these nice sauces, so you just add the salad cream to the cheese or the ham or the pickle or whatever other sandwiches are available. They've got yogurts, they've got these little juice pots which are quite nice. The staff ain't too bad, but they do play games, as do most people, particularly in the working room, because they've better to do, and not only have they got nothing better to do, but it gives them a bit of a thrill. And you can't really blame them, you know, that is the way they are, because possibly because they're doing it deliberately, because they're told to do it. They're all here for different reasons, although maybe I'm complicating things too much. Let's just say that I'm on to the games that are being played, and I can work them out very quickly, and I don't fall into the traps anymore. It's difficult sometimes, particularly with that promethazine the other night, and also him saying, oh, it's pizza night, it's takeaway night. What he means by that is that he's taken me back to the last time I was here, 2019, when I was asking people to share their food, because I was lacking money, which is a weakness, a major weakness. But when you've been on some very heavy medication in the past, non risperidone, you're in a very weak position, and it weakens. You can only see by my teeth. I only got that tooth and that tooth, and that's it out of 50 teeth. When I was at Signet Stevenage, they tried to put one of them gums in, and then you got that Fixodent advert, which is a load of bollocks. They reckon you put the glue onto the Fixodent, and you're able to eat apples, a load of shit, which is why I use the mixer thing. But the problem with that is it makes such a lot of racket that people know what I'm up to in the local neighbourhood in Hyson Green on 24 Burford Road, NG7 6BD. And they love it. They love the fact that I'm improving my life, but it comes with a shitload of drawbacks. And like I said, there is a lot of jealousy of a lot of lads in that area. And I've had people say, do you want him, or shall we share him, or, group sex and whatever. It's all just fantasies. It hasn't happened yet. It may happen in the future, but you have got to be careful with a man's penis in your bottom, because, if he comes in you, that can cause AIDS, and that can lead to an early death. So that's not a route I want to go down. The ultimate for me is fuck machines, but they cost a fortune. I mean, you won't believe some of the fantasies I've had towards lesbians in Carlton, and who are driving Audis, and the next stage for me was to actually get in the car, go back to the house, and have a lot of fun. It's called confidence and believing in yourself, and trusting in yourself, and trusting in other people, and not being scared, and not being frightened, and not getting paranoid, and not thinking people are against you. But you've got to be careful about taking risks. But when it's just sex, and sex is sex, and sex is a very powerful tool, it can produce so many chemicals in the body that you feel like you're on fire. And that is where I usually am at, walking through Nottingham. I feel like I'm on fire. And when you feel like I'm on fire, you attract a lot of attention, a lot of which is not healthy. It's all right to be inquisitive. It's all right for people to learn off you. I'll talk about that again. But, you have got to be careful. So what I've done is I've kind of tried to numb the pain a bit, and not stand out so much, and kind of not pretend I'm not this Peter guy. I'll let someone else be Peter, whoever the hell he is, and however the hell I've got that name, I've got to maybe get to the bottom of that. But yeah, I've said enough for now. I will go my childhood, I will go my teenage years, I will go my 20s, I will go my 30s. Gradually, step by step, story by story, and break it down to an extremely basic, simple, understandable level, so as not to confuse anyone. Anyway, it's now 18:55, is how long I've been talking. It's 8:05, and it's still Monday the 13th of June, and my solicitor will be here in exactly 2 hours 56 minutes if he's on time, and usually they're late, so I'm willing to bide my time and keep cool, and not get too arrogant or full of myself, or allow people to big me up, because that was the problem I was having at Nottinghamshire NHS, which funnily enough doesn't happen here. So in a way I'm in a better position, but I don't want to say that too loud, because that will come back on me as well. So I think you've heard what I've said. I'm hoping you understand what I say and take on board what I'm saying. Over and out. Goodbye, people. Enjoy your rest of your day. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Bye bye, bye bye, bye bye.